Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 1 of July 2024. Wary bankers and deceptive mules are playing a cat and mouse game. Several high-street banks have either stopped or slowed down opening sole proprietorship and individual current accounts of firms that are less than a year old amid suspicion that they could be money mules for laundering and digital frauds. Money mules are persons who let their bank accounts be used by launderers and shysters to move the proceeds of crime. Beginning July 1st, credit card users will be unable to make repayments on third-party fintech applications for banks that have not come on board Bharat Bill Pay systems. Some of the fintechs that will get impacted include Cred, Paytm, PhonePe, and Amazon Pay, among others. The Department of Science and Technology, Government of Gujarat, IBM, Microsoft, and NASSCOM have signed multiple MOUs to establish an AI cluster for the banking, financial services, and insurance sector and an AI center of excellence at the GIFT Gandhinagar. Additionally, a capacity building program for 25,000 students along with a STEM workshop for 10,000 high school students was also launched. The Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs clarified that if an MNC subsidiary in India, as service recipient, is eligible to claim full input tax credit under the GST, the value declared by the overseas affiliate in the invoice will be treated as a taxable value. But in cases where the foreign affiliate does not raise an invoice, it would be presumed that the value of services is nil and no GST is required to be paid. Diageo India is consolidating overseas subsidiaries set up by erstwhile United Spirits Limited promoter Vijay Mallya to simplify the corporate structure, create a nimbler organization, and lower recurring legal costs. Diageo India is listed in country as United Spirits Limited. Exchanges frequently offer lower fees to brokers who generate high trading volumes, which has led to increased activity across segments such as derivatives. SEBI is considering asking exchanges to halt this practice as part of a broader strategy to temper the excessive trading activity in India's derivative markets. Discount broking firms' revenues are expected to get hit as a significant part comes from the paybacks that exchanges give for the volume they generate. Patanjali Foods Limited Board approves Rs 1,100 crore acquisition of Patanjali Ayurved's home and personal care business, leveraging brand equity in key segments for revenue growth and synergies. The company aims for product innovations and cost optimization. India's economy showed strong first quarter performance with surging manufacturing activity, robust GST collections, and record high Sensex, alongside a rise in passenger car sales and new export orders from overseas markets. US-based short seller Hindenburg Research has said that it received a show cause notice from the Securities and Exchange Board of India on June 27th, outlining suspected violations of Indian regulations and alleged that the regulator came into Adani Group's aid after the January 2023 report was released. Global investor KKR on Monday said it will acquire a controlling stake in Baby Memorial Hospital, a Kerala-based multi-speciality hospital chain. Though the investor did not share the deal value, according to industry sources, KKR has bought a 70% stake in the chain for Rs 2,500 crore. KKR's investment will support Baby Memorial Hospital's efforts to address the growing need for quality, accessible healthcare services in the country by advancing its efforts to build a leading pan-India network of hospitals, including through both organic and inorganic growth strategies. Vietnamese electric vehicle maker VinFast will enter the Indian market with locally assembled models, marking a shift from its earlier strategy of initially selling only imported electric vehicles in the world's third largest automobile market. The revised approach follows a fast-tracked opening of the company's new factory in Tamil Nadu. The plant is likely to become operational by March 25th, which is 3 months ahead of the schedule. Capgemini has announced the development of a new state-of-the-art facility in Chennai, committing approximately Rs 1,000 crore over the next 3 years. This investment aims to empower local talent and reinforce the company's commitment to innovation, growth, and sustainability in the region. Quick commerce unicorn Zepto, which recently raised $665 million at a valuation of $3.6 billion, is likely to go for another round of fundraise of $250 million on the back of investor interest. The fresh round is likely to be at a higher valuation of $4.6 billion, and the fundraise may even touch $400 million. For an ambitious India Inc. aiming to leap forward, an acute shortage of workers, both skilled and unskilled, is threatening to hold it back. Recently, India's largest engineering and construction firm, Larsen & Toubro, flagged a shortage of 25,000 to 30,000 laborers. SEBI has notified amendment to SEBI prohibition of fraudulent and unfair trade practices relating to securities market regulations 2003. SEBI clarified that transactions via mule accounts for indulging in manipulative, fraudulent and unfair trade practices must be prohibited. Also, the term mule account has been defined under Regulation 2(DA). It refers to a trading, dematerialized or bank account linked with a trading account where the account is effectively controlled by another person. SEBI's new regulations on F&O trading aim to standardize charges and reduce excessive profits for brokers. This may lead to higher costs for long-term investors and potential changes in brokerage models. Retail participation in options trading is being closely monitored for its impact on savings. Amid concerns of froth building up in below-the-radar SME stocks, the National Stock Exchange on Thursday announced the imposition of a price control cap of 90% on SME IPOs. SEBI on Thursday issued a circular requiring stockbrokers to establish an institutional mechanism for prevention and detection of fraud or market abuse in a bid to protect the interest of investors in securities market. The circular mandates the implementation of systems for the surveillance of trading activities and internal controls, introduction of a whistleblower policy, among other obligations. Hospitality unicorn Oyo has secured $50 million in funding from Incred Wealth and Investment, marking its first significant capital infusion in nearly 3 years. However, the investment values the Gurgaon-based company at $2.38 billion, a substantial 76% decrease from its peak valuation of $10 billion. According to regulatory filings, Oyo's board approved the issuance of new shares to Incred, granting the investor a 2.11% stake in the company post-investment. The contribution of quick commerce sales to the overall e-commerce sales of fast-moving consumer goods companies has doubled in a year, executives from top firms including Dabur, Parle Products, ITC and Nestle have said. The share of quick commerce sales within the e-commerce sales for the FMCG companies now stands at 33 to 36% against 17 to 18% a year ago. The results of the Chartered Accountants' final and intermediate examinations held in May 2024 are expected to be announced on Thursday, July 11, 2024. Aspiring chartered accountants can access the results on the official ICAI website, which is icai.nic.in. Siemens AG plans to increase software and digital services sales to 20%, with India being a key player in this strategy, according to CEO Roland Busch. The company has invested in expanding its software portfolio and collaborating with Microsoft on AI technology. India is a vital region for Siemens, where it aims to grow its human resources capital and manufacturing capabilities, targeting both local and global markets. Major credit card issuing banks that have not yet integrated themselves with the Bharat Bill Payment System platform for receiving credit card repayment via third-party applications are anticipating a breathing space of 3 to 4 weeks from the Reserve Bank of India to complete the activation process. French technology giant IDEMIA, which manufactures digital and physical SIM or subscriber identity module platforms and other identity-related security services, plans to move aggressively into the automotive space in India. It will sell its tech platforms for what it projects will be a 30 million connected vehicle market in India by 2025-26, a figure which includes internal combustion engine as well as electric vehicles. India's fast-moving consumer goods market, valued at Rs 5.6 trillion, will see a revenue growth of 7 to 9% in the ongoing fiscal of financial year 25, driven by a revival in rural demand and stable urban growth, rating agency CRISIL said on Thursday. Urban volume growth will likely come in at 7 to 8% during the period, the same as earlier, while rural volume growth will be around 6 to 7% in financial year 25, higher than the 4.5% seen earlier. The GST portal has introduced a new functionality that allows users to track the return filing status of registered taxpayers financial year-wise. This enhancement aims to provide better transparency and ease of access to historical data for businesses and tax professionals. The government is examining a proposal to increase the tax deductible amount on savings accounts interest to Rs 25,000. Current limits are Rs 10,000, which is as per Section 80TTA, Rs 50,000 for seniors, which is as per Section 80TTB under the old tax regime. Banks have been advocating for incentives on deposits due to rising concerns over the increasing credit deposit ratio. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India is expected to ease some of the parameters in its proposed quality of service regulations, initially deemed too stringent by the telecom industry. This comes as the regulator emphasizes the need for telecom operators to enhance their service quality, particularly after recent tariff hikes. Removal of the contentious angel tax for startups may be part of the union budget announcement, as per the recommendations from the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Angel tax refers to the income tax levied by the government on funding raised by unlisted companies or startups if their valuation exceeds the company's fair market value. The tax impacts angel investment the most and therefore is called the angel tax. SEBI has reduced the face value for issuing debt security or non-convertible redeemable preference shares on a private placement basis from Rs 1 lakh to Rs 10,000 subject to certain conditions. The condition is that the issuer must appoint at least one merchant banker, and such debt security or non-convertible redeemable preference share must be an interest or dividend-bearing security paying coupon or dividend at regular intervals with a fixed maturity. In a setback to Pricewaterhouse & Co. and KPMG affiliate BSR & Associates, the Delhi High Court has held that not just their partners but the firms too would be liable to reply to notices issued by the disciplinary committee at the Institute of the Chartered Accountants of India. The ruling serves to put the implementation of the Chartered Accountants, the Cost and Work Accountant, and the Company Secretaries Amendment Act passed in April 2022 on the fast track. The court directed the government to notify the amendments, according to which the proceedings for misconduct could be held against CA firms also, rather than just the accountants. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.